This is a summer update for my Summer Wave 20 foot by 48 inch pool. We're on our second season with this pool, and I noticed a lot of people have filter issues. I'm going to tell you the filters they sell with this screw in here to this opening, and they have like an aquarium style pump attached right here. They're complete trash. Don't use those. If you do buy one of these pools, one of the first things you should do is upgrade the filter. This is running a Hayward fan filter, 1.5 horsepower pump, and it puts out 70 gallons a minute. It literally will, I only run it 2 hours a day because that's all it needs to filter my pool of 8,000 gallons. And my water so far has stayed clear. Literally the only chemical I've added to this is chlorine tablets in my floater once a week. I maybe go through 1-2 tablets max a week, and that keeps my water clear because the newer tablets, if you look and you make sure, I would make sure they include clarifier and stabilizer and algicide, so you don't have to add all those extra chemicals. That is literally the only thing I have added to this pool since I opened it. And my water opened clear because I used a winterizing kit last year when I closed it for the winter. I left this up all winter. I will tell you, I got in the pool finally for the first time yesterday. It was finally warm enough. It was 81 degrees for me to be comfortable getting in the water. I'm a wimp. I don't like cold water. I noticed something on the frame. You cannot see it from this side of the pool real well, but on the inside, if you're inside the pool, you can see that this is starting to rust. You might be able to see it if I do a close-up. So I'm going to spray some more BoShield 2.9 on the post. I'm also going to get another product to treat the top part because people complain that over time this degrades and you get fiberglass coming off of it when people touch it and it's itchy and scratchy. So I'm going to put it's called 303 vinyl protectant. I'm going to spray the top of this with that just to protect it. I'm not worried about the rest of the liner because people don't touch that on a regular basis. But for the top part, the kids are in there. They like to hang on the sides or come over to the sides, and they always put their hands up there. So to protect them and myself and anyone else who swims in here, I'm going to do that. But number one is key. A lot of people, again, are dumping insane amounts of chemicals in their pool in a desperate attempt to clear it. Add one thing at a time. Run your pool filter for 24 hours. Stir things up with a brush. I'll show you. I have a brush over here. There's my brush. I use that and I brush the sides. I stir things up with that. I'm able to vacuum my pool because of my setup. If you can vacuum it, vacuum it. I've heard a lot of good things about the portable pool blaster vacuums if you cannot vacuum your pool with your current setup. That's going to be important. That's going to cut down on your algae growth. Covering your pool when you're not using it. A cheap hack I have for keeping the water like this also is because people have sunscreen on when they get in the pool. I just throw 2 or 3 tennis balls in there. And obviously not when the filter's running because that'll get stuck in my skimmer, but I just do that. My pool needs to be vacuumed. There's debris on the bottom. But overall, it stayed pretty clean. I'm satisfied with it. I haven't got any leaks. My pool does have a deep end over here because it's about 3 inches off, 2.5, 3 inches off. And over here, it's my shallow end. But the deep end is where my pump is, so that's cool. I keep an eye on things. I walk around, I do an inspection of my posts, make sure nothing's bad because you do want the pool to be safe, especially because you have kids in it. I don't let them do giant waves. Another thing I see people doing, and this really concerns me, they fill their water level all the way up to here. Your pool is not designed for that. It's designed to go to about the middle of the skimmer, maybe a little bit higher. And that's that. Because if you get the water level all the way up here, what's going to happen over time is your liner right here can rip right where this is, and this supports it. There's a lot of weight on this, so you want to be careful not to overfill your pool. When I get an excessive amount of rain and my water's overflowing out the skimmer, I just either vacuum to waste for a little bit, because I can on mine, or you can also, if you don't have that option, you can backwash or just leave it on rinse and it'll actually drain some water out of here. Another thing to keep an eye on is your filter pressure. Mine is running at good pressure. I just had to backwash it because it was kind of plugged up. I wasn't getting good pressure. Pay attention to your pump pressure no matter what kind of a setup you have. If it's not coming out right, investigate why, because otherwise you will burn up your motor on your pump. Keep an eye on that. This is the 4th season I've ran this filter and pump. 2 seasons on this and 2 seasons on my previous pool, and it's done well, and it was ran for 3 or 4 seasons prior to that from the previous owner. So maintenance is going to be key. Right here you'll see I have a little bit of a leak. I am going to need to, after the season is over, I'm going to need to replace my spider gasket in here. So this is going to need replaced. Eventually I know this is going to need replaced. So maintenance, put these away for the winter. I did not put my sand filter away this last winter. I covered it. I really wish I would have, but there's 150 pounds of sand in there, so it's not easy to move. I definitely store the pump inside. I covered this with a heavy duty tarp, took off all the hoses, stored them inside. This is my 4th season using the same hoses with no major issues. But maintenance is going to be key. You're going to have to pay attention to stuff. When I do run my filter, I come out here on a regular basis to keep an eye on things. My chlorine floater got stuck in the opening the other day and almost caused a problem. It got stuck in the skimmer, so I have it tied down tighter now. It should stay put. But that's maintenance tips for the summer. And just pay attention. Don't do a whole ton of chemicals. I know you're going to the pool stores and they're giving you information. Try one thing first. If that doesn't work, 24 hours later, try something else. But then you have to pay attention to your levels and test it, because you don't want kids getting in there with the chemical levels way too high. That can make them sick or can burn up their skin, all different things. So you want to pay attention to that. Hope everybody has a great summer.